Hello friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today we have a very fun little project ahead of us. I am here right off of the pathway that goes to the patio. You'll probably recognize that I have got my fantastic salvia going. This is the Rockin' Playin' the Blues salvia, and man, it is spectacular. There are bees all over this thing. So we have the pathway, the salvia, and then I have my David Austin roses right behind here. Probably gonna have to trim up that salvia just a little bit. But the project that we're gonna do is featuring this fantastic bird bath that I had gotten from Unique Stone a while ago. And so through a set of unfortunate circumstances, the bird bath is not holding water like it should. So it would hold, hold the water for a little bit and then it would just leak out. Obviously, I do not want to get rid of this thing because it is a gorgeous piece of pottery. So I was like, how can I use this in a different way? I am going to plant it with some agaves and the chicks of the hidden chicks, the sempervivums or the sempervivums, however you want to say it. So I have it right here in this spot, which is really fun because there's this little pathway that will cut through right here between the azaleas and the roses and the salvia, because this is definitely going to be a container that you're going to want to see up close. It has all sorts of fun little chicks in there that we're just going to fill in, and it is going to be really fun. So that is what we are going to do today. So what I have, first of all, let's talk about the plants that we're going to use. So I have my little colander full of chicks that I went ahead and harvested off of the succulent planter from Michael Carr. That's just right over there on the patio. I did this about 3 days ago, and all I did was went in with my little snips and I just cut just that little piece right off. So this is the chick, this is the baby, that's what you call them, hen and chicks. And I just had the most fun going in there and cutting these little cute little things off. And so some of them have more of a stem than others do. That's all right. So we've got a huge selection of them in here, lots of different colors. Look at that one. Oh, look at that red. Isn't that fun? So I've got a whole little colander full of them. So you snip them off and then you want to place them in an area out of direct sun, but outside that's nice and warm. So they can cure, the stems can cure, and then all we're gonna do is just kind of plop them into the soil. So I've got a whole assortment of these babies that we're going to use. And I am blessed to have a mama that does enjoy gardening as much as I do, if not even more. So we have got 2 of the agave pups that she is going to share with us. So one is from a friend, went to go visit the nursery Plant Delights in Raleigh. And this was a pup off of hers. So this is an agave nickel slay. I'll put the name up there for you. But is a nice, deep, kind of a bluish green and with some white in there. So that's a great one. And then this is off of her, it is not a proven winner, she just recycled her pot. This is a J.C. Ralston agave, which is a beautiful, try to get my face out of here, just an absolutely beautiful blue-green color. Is fantastic, so we're going to use those as well. Okay, so what we're going to do is, one, say a little prayer that I don't get a pollinator that gets too friendly with me. But I have gone ahead and set this up. I do have a, it's like a solid cinder block underneath, and I've leveled it completely. So it's perfectly level. The bird bath is sitting on top of that, and then I just covered it up with mulch. So it looks like it's sitting on raw ground, but it's not. So that way I have learned you need to make sure these things are level and supported, because over time they'll start to tip a little bit. It's not a super deep container, which is good. So I am going to go ahead and fill in the bottom with some rocks just to make sure that because yes, there will be water sitting on top of here, you know, when it rains and things, right? And I want to make sure that they're not completely soaked. So again, not proven winter rocks, but it is what you have. Use what you got, people, right? So just going to go in there. Of course, I probably got too many, but that's all right. I'd rather have too many than not enough on here. All right, so now what we're gonna do is I have my tub, and what was I think my key to success when I did the succulent planter is my friend, Miss Kathy, who is just a fantastic gardener, told me, she said, Jenny, mix your soil. So I have got soil conditioner, aged pine bark fines, whatever you want to call it. So this will help in drainage. So I've got some in here, and then I've got the Proven Winners potting soil. So I'm going to do equal parts potting soil and the soil conditioner, mix that up, and then that is going to be my soil that I'm going to use, my growing medium for that, because we want it to hold water, but we don't want to hold too much water, right? It's that wonderful, delicate balance. So now I'm just getting in here and mixing everybody up so that you don't want to layer the soil. You want to mix it so that you have even drainage throughout the entire container, because some layers, if you do it by layers, some layers will hold more moisture than others. And when we're dealing with agaves and the sempervivums, we don't want that to happen. So we're mixing it in here really good. And I'm fighting and racing against the weather because we're gonna have some storms come through. And I'm like, okay. In fact, here comes the rain. So we're gonna move with purpose today. All right, so that's good enough. And I think what I'm gonna do is actually put in, before I put down the soil, I'm gonna put the agaves in because they're actually in containers. I don't know what their root system looks like, but I'm gonna have them place them and then add the soil around it. That way I don't have to dig down into there. This little pup probably has very little roots because Mama just harvested it off of the mother plant like within the last 2 weeks. So we're gonna be very gentle here. Oh, more than I thought. All right. And we're just gonna place it. Say a little prayer that it'll stay together. Here we go. All right, throw the pot to Brenna. All right. Both of these agaves came, oh, there you go, from Plant Delights. They are a fantastic, really nice, gorgeous perennials, and they do mail order. So I'll put the link in the video description. Now with the JC Ralston, I know that in a couple of years, I will have to move it because it will get big. So this is a big one, but that's okay. In the meantime, I'm very happy with it, and we'll let it grow and be just fine. All right, so we're just gonna load up the soil all around them, and I may end up raising these up a little bit so it can be more of a mound, right? Higher in the center and come out. I just figured since those roots are very tender that I didn't want to have to manipulate them too much. It's my first time doing something like this. Jenny's just having fun, and let's always try something different in the garden, right? There's so many great plants out there. Stretch yourself, test yourself, have fun. All right, let's see what that looks like. Before I start putting in the chicks, I'm going to water this in because it will, I was taking my cues from my mama, and she said, she gave me her little pokey stick. This is not scientific whatsoever. But she did tell me, she said it makes it easier if your soil is already a little damp, because that way you can create a hole a lot easier for the little chicks. So I'm just trying to get soil between these agaves because you do not want air pockets around your roots. That is a great way to kill your plants. So always make sure that they're nice and happy. All right. Okay, I think we are just about there with all of the soil that I need. And then I have a hose right there. That was another reason why I like this location, is because I do have access to water that's really easy. So we're gonna just kind of do a light little mist because we are expecting some rain today. I just need to get this kind of so that it is wet and I can make a hole a little bit easier. All right, so I'm gonna water this the way that I tell people not to water their plants. So I'm gonna do like the little dance with the water because again, I don't want a real strong. We're gonna, there we go. Easy as that. Just enough water to get them in there and to get the soil wet so that when I make a hole, the hole will stay. Now, here comes the fun part. All right, so now comes the fun part where I just come in and I think I'm gonna first, well, see, I've never done this before. So I think what I'll do is plant them as I go. So I'm just making a little bit of a hole and then I'm gonna put the stem down into the hole and nestle them in. That's what Mama said to do. That's what I'm gonna do. Now, I don't know that I will have enough, quote, enough, right? I mean, that's all relative, to fill this up. But the great thing is I was kind of conservative when I was cutting off my chicks because I just didn't know, right, how much I would have. And I would rather cut not enough and wait a couple of days and come back and fill them in as opposed to cutting too many and then I couldn't use them. I don't want them to go to waste. So I'm just gonna come in here, have fun, get everybody snuggled in, make sure that they're all tucked down in there. And yeah, just go in and have a grand old time placing them, enjoying it. There we go. Okay, so the rain did start to come, so we had to put the big camera back up in the house because it cannot get wet. So I brought the GoPro out, which is waterproof, fantastic. All right, so the little container is done. It was, relatively speaking, a very easy project to do. I think I can definitely go ahead and harvest a little bit more of the chicks. So what I will do is I'll just go ahead in a minute and I'll go get my little snips and I will show you because I certainly have lots of room that I could fill in. These are from the chick charms that we got back in the spring. If you remember that video where I did the succulent planter. So they have been very prolific, produced lots of babies this year, and not even the year, just this past couple of months. So I definitely have little rooms, little pockets that I could fill in. And so yeah, so let's just go ahead and grab the snips in a container and we'll go harvest some more chicks. So in a couple of days I can add them back to it. But I do love this whole location of this. I think it just is really fun. It makes a nice pop, something different, different texture, different something fun, you know, because gardening should be fun. And filling up a bird bath that doesn't hold water anymore with little succulents, that's fun. So grab my snips and we're just gonna go right over here to the patio and harvest some more chicks. So right here over my shoulder, you will see the succulent planter from Michael Carr. He did it as a succulent planter, strawberry planter, however you wanna use it. I have found the greatest success using it with these hen and chicks. So happy. So you can see where I have already like pruned off of those. Those are not so much, right? But then kind of coming around over here to the side, there's lots of babies that we can harvest. Again, I'm working in the rain. I don't have a tripod, so we're just gonna do the best we can. So this little guy right here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna come in and we're just gonna come in and just with my snips and just cut it. Just like that. So then what we end up with is we have that little bit of a stem on there, and so that way once it hardens off and cures, then we can then safely plant it back into the bird bath. So we're trying to get, there we go, coming in, trying to snip off as much as we possibly can. That one's still connected. And then these guys, the hens, can just stay in there. Oh, see how that had already rooted right there? So it had the stem, of course, and then it had already sent out some roots. So that is perfectly fine. And then we're gonna come over here. We got a bunch of babies right here. So we're gonna figure out who's connected to who. All right, so this is a tricky one. Let's see if this is it. I think this is it. And then, it is. So look, that was a great find. So what I can then do is go around and cut off. Now this is the hen, and these are all the little chicks. So I'll go and snip all of those off, and then I have even more. So this can be a really fun, addictive type of gardening, because these babies just grow and multiply. And then look at all those. Look at all those little guys on there. So much fun. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Get one more section here. Look at that mother load. Woo. Man, I got all sorts of good ones in there. All right, so I have my little bowl full of chicks, and I'm gonna dump it out. Here we are underneath the, on the back porch. And so this is a covered area, because wherever you're gonna cure them, you wanna make sure that they don't get water on them, right? So we need to let them air dry, and this back porch is a great option. So what I'm gonna do is come in here and separate any little chicks off of a hen. And so there we go, that's what we're gonna do. And then you just lay them out. I mean, like, you can just sit here on the table, nothing fancy. If I didn't have so many little chicks, then I could have just dumped and gone. But I do love these little scissors. I got them from, you know me, Kinsman Garden Company, and they are sharp. I don't use them on a whole lot of things, but they are great for fine work like this. So we got everybody off and just laying right there. So that's what we're gonna do. And then we have this really pretty red one, and we're going to come in here. Ooh, those are some big ones. There we go. Ooh, this one's got a bunch. I like this one because it has the green with the red tips. Those are so much fun. Just cut off all those little babies. So if you have some sempervivums, go ahead and divide those babies out. Or if you have a friend that has some, I guarantee that they would be more than happy to share some chicks with you, because at some point you've just got to go in there and thin out your chicks and your hens. This is an old-timey plant. I remember my grandmother had these. So much fun. Last one, we're gonna sit here and snip off. There we go. So I have my little table full. I will let them cure for 3 to 4 days, and then I will just do exactly what I did today and just take them over there, fill in the little gaps, and voila. So this is a fun little project. You know, there's always something new in the garden to do. Even here in August, you can still be in your garden. So as always, thanks so much for gardening with Creekside. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.